Alan Mulally has came into town in 2006 and basically started to get a succession of outsized pay packages that for years, some people in the unions and even other automakers kind of raised their eyebrows. But, well, after shares had fallen down to as low as $1.15, they're now at $12.50 a share, and he's getting paid handsomely, $29.5 million worth in 2011.
One of the things that's so interesting, of course, is that Ford was the company that didn't, at least officially, receive any money from the government, whereas the other two big automakers did. What does this tell us about, the ability to ride that? I mean, was Ford's success? Because clearly this compensation packet reflects the big turnaround that Ford and others have seen. Were they a beneficiary of the bailout, or did they really just do this on their own?
No, well, I mean, it's kind of a complex answer. Let's say if Ford did not take money directly from the federal government during the bailout, but had General Motors and Chrysler been allowed to just fall into bankruptcy at the time, it would have been catastrophic, and it's very likely that Ford would have been pulled under as well. Not just them, but hundreds of other auto suppliers and even much healthier automakers would have been dragged lower because of the interconnection between all of the different companies. So it would have been catastrophic, and Ford likely would have declared bankruptcy as well. So they did benefit from the bailout, unquestionably, but they didn't take direct money. I mean, the real reason they turned around is because they had a restructuring plan. They started it 2 years before the big economic collapse, and by the time the collapse came, they also had a very big cushion of money that they had taken out to do their restructuring plan. So that is what really led them to be able to do this turnaround.
So, Mike, the headline of this compensation, the $29.5 million, is an eye catcher, but a lot of it is in stock and options. So the base salary and bonuses isn't as jarring. Is it more in line with sort of what his counterparts make at other big automakers? And also, what do you think? Considering that Ford has performed well, and Mullally's done a pretty good job, I think. Do you think that the unions and others that might be critical of a large pay package like this might sort of give them some space?
Well, it's interesting. I'll answer the second question first. But when you talk to union members, you get kind of from the leaders, Bob King, and for him, Ron Gettelfinger, they made a lot of noise about how much money he was making and whether it was socially responsible. But if you actually talk to the rank and file, I've talked to a lot of union members who are like, you know what, he should make as much as Kobe Bryant, or some of these athletic stars. He has 200,000 employees globally, and he turned the company around. So there's not as much pushback from the employees as you might think. And as far as making what his peers make, Sergio Marchionne was paid about $19.5 million from Fiat. And Dan Akerson over at GM, actually, he's restrained on how much money he can make because of the TARP salary cap. So he's going to make around $9 million probably. That's what he made last year, which is not chump change, but...
Okay. Let's take a quick look at the share price, because obviously shareholders have a great stake in this as well. Can we have a look at the chart there, guys, to see how Ford's doing? So this is just today, of course, down at the open, but relatively flat on the day. In general, though, shareholder response to this, any sense that people sort of see this as a worthy package? Alan?
Well, I think that, he made $26.5 million last year, so this isn't, it's certainly not a surprise. He's made almost $140 million in total reported compensation from Ford since he's been there. Frankly, this is, a lot of his reported compensation is actually far less than his actual compensation because the stocks have ended up being worth a lot more than what Ford estimated.